When I was shopping for my sports car back in 2017, one of my options was a Ford Mustang GT. It's powerful, it's handsome, and it can seat 4 passengers. Now, while I didn't end up buying the Ford Mustang, my curiosity for this icon still remains. So in this video, we will check out the refresh offering of Ford's iconic muscle car, the 2020 Mustang GT Premium. Let's do this! Hello guys, I'm Reagan and we are back here at Ford Alabang to do another showroom car review. If you have a need for anything Ford, do pay them a visit and check them out. If this black Mustang tickles your fancy, you may contact the person in the description below. The Mustang is one of the most recognizable cars throughout history. It's a thoroughbred muscle car with gobs of power at a relatively affordable price point. It began its production life way back in 1964, making it the longest running nameplate for a car in Ford's lineup. It also has the distinction of being the only car left standing after Ford decided to scrap all of its car offerings and focus more on SUVs and trucks. Focus, yes, pun intended. Now, the biggest trivia of the day, this Mustang doesn't even have a single Ford badge in its entire body. But despite that, it is still considered to be Ford's #1 global ambassador. Now, this 6th generation Ford Mustang I have here is one hell of an ambassador. Even in this sinister black color, it's still recognizable as a Ford Mustang. This refresh model already gets these squintier headlights here that gives off a look that it means business. The whole light treatment up front are now LEDs, from your headlights, your turn signals, your DRLs, and even your fog lights. The refresh model also gets a newly redesigned hood with these dual hood vents here that give added street cred, and is also functional because they also serve to extract heat from the engine. The hood also slopes now much lower into the front grille, and it gives off an aggressive and mean vibe. Now, the front grille is a honeycomb design with the iconic galloping horse right there front and center. Now, if you look at the front fascia of this Ford Mustang, it gives off a look that is so mean, so aggressive, and supremely beautiful. The aggressive profile of the Mustang continues on to the side. You get this deep character line here, and it disappears towards the center of the car, only to reappear once again here at the rear haunches. Now, this subtle design cue gives it a sleek and sporty look. Now, the Mustang also has these flared out rear haunches, which adds to the overall sex appeal of the car. The GT Premium also gets these 5.0 badges up on the front fender, meant to intimidate Mustangs with a smaller EcoBoost engine. The GT Premium also gets these 19-inch blacked out wheels with a staggered tire setup. The front gets 255/40 R19s, while the rears get meaty 275/40 R19s. Now, the tires that we have here are Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, which is practically the gold standard when it comes to ultra-high performance street tires. The GT Premium we have here also has these Brembo brakes up front, which is meant to completely stop this galloping stallion. Now, the rear of the 6th generation Mustang gets some throwback cues that tie it together to its ancestors. The 3-bar taillight design we have here is an homage to the 1969 Ford Mustang. The lights are LED though, so at least the tech is still modern. Now, I love how these are white taillights on this black body. It just gives it a little bit more pop to it. Now, from the taillights, you also get quad exhaust pipes here, which is just fitting for a full-grown V8 engine. The sound of V8's exhaust growl is oral nirvana, guys. Take a listen. See, I told you, oral nirvana. Now, that was even in normal mode, and you'd be happy to know that the GT Premium in the Philippines comes with a variable exhaust system. Now, let's hear it when it's in track mode. Wow, guys, that is crazy. Now, don't try it while you're still in the village because you'll wake up the entire neighborhood. Now, you also get these rear diffusers here in the center, which is just fitting for a car of this caliber. Now, when you pop open the fastback trunk, you get 382 liters of trunk space, which is decent when it comes to sports cars. I mean, you could even fit a couple of golf bags here as long as you tumble down the seats at the back. I couldn't really say the same for my Miata. Anyway, guys, let's head over to the front and check out the heart that powers this beast. Now, the Mustang remains true to its roots because it's got a big thumping V8 under the hood. Now, that's pure American muscle for you, boy. Now, this beast can churn out 460 horses at a screaming 7,000 RPM. And it's also got 570 Newton meters of twist. Now, it's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission that does its best to give you some form of fuel economy. Now, granted, most Mustang buyers anyway don't really care much about fuel economy, but if you really have to know, this returns 4 to 6 kilometers per liter in the city and 10 to 12 kilometers per liter in the highway. Again, Mustang buyers don't really care much about fuel economy, but if that's such a big thing for you, go get yourself an EcoSport. Wow, these are some serious seats. The Mustang sports these leather-wrapped Recaro seats for the driver and the front passenger for that ultimate racing performance feel. Now, despite being sport buckets, these seats look like they're gonna be quite comfortable even for some people with larger builds. The seats are also manually adjustable for a quick access for those people who are relegated to the back. Now, let's get inside the Mustang and try these seats out. Yep, these are nice seats. They will hold you well when you do a track day, and they're comfortable enough in case you go out on a long drive. Now, for your steering wheel, you get a nice leather-wrapped steering wheel here with a bunch of Ford buttons found in the middle. You also get proper paddle shifters this time, unlike the other Ford models that still get that plus-minus button found on the gear shifter. Now, these paddle shifters are also on the small side though, but you could always turn to the aftermarket if you want to make them a bit bigger and look a little bit fancier as well. Now, it's a shame that all the fastback Mustang models in the Philippines come in this 10-speed automatic transmission, and you can't really spec it in a manual transmission because manual transmission Mustangs get the launch control feature and the line lock feature, which is also known as burnout mode. If you want a manual transmission Mustang here, you'll have to pony up a little bit more and go for the convertible option because that one can be spec'd either in a 10-speed auto or an actual manual transmission gearbox. So moving from your steering wheel and the transmission, we head over to the fancy instrument gauge that we can find in the Mustang. You see, the instrument gauges of the Mustang is unique amongst the Ford lineup because it's got a 12-inch fully digital LED instrument gauge here that changes design and theme according to the drive modes that you've chosen. The Mustang has 4 drive modes. You've got your usual normal mode for regular city driving, and in normal mode you got a tachometer, a speedometer, and a bunch of other information as well. Now, when you toggle from normal mode to Sport Plus mode, well, Sport Plus is what you use when you're carving down mountain twisties while you're chasing a Miata. In Sport Plus mode, your tachometer morphs to include a bar at the top of the digital gauge just to show you if you're in the proper rev range while you're going down those mountain twisties. You still get the usual speedometer here on the right side as well. Now, from Sport Plus mode, you can toggle to track mode, and in track mode, the entire instrument gauge change to just show you a tachometer bar that's found at the top side of your digital instrument gauge panel. You still get a digital speedo display here on the right side though, but when you're in a track day, the most important thing here, guys, is where in the rev range your car is at. That way you will continuously maximize on the output and performance of your Mustang. From your track mode, you toggle the switch and you go into drag strip mode. And in drag strip mode, you got the same design as track mode because, well, when you're doing a drag race, engine speed is all that matters. Now, from your drag strip mode, you toggle it again and you go into snow mode. And in snow mode, well, this is the same format as normal mode with your speedo and your tach and all that stuff. But in snow mode, it keeps your revs low and upshifts early, just to make sure that you have enough traction. Now, a fun fact here, guys, is if your Mustang is about to run out of fuel, you could switch the drive mode to snow mode, and that should help you gain a little bit more fuel economy because it would upshift faster, at least in the 10-speed auto variant. Now, from your snow mode, you toggle the switch again, and that takes you back to normal mode. Now, from your fancy digital instrument gauge here, you move over to your infotainment system, and your infotainment system here is the same 8-inch touchscreen system that's found in other Ford models. It's got MySync 3, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto as well. The thing is, the Mustang is equipped with 12 speakers, so that's a little bit of overkill for a cabin that's so small. I guess Ford really knows its Mustang owners, especially those who just want to cruise to the beach with the windows open and their arms hanging out. Now, your infotainment system also has a rear view camera as well, and you also get your dual zone climate control system here and an array of aluminum toggle switches that control your drive mode, your traction control system, and even your hazard button. Now, these toggle switches kind of remind me of the toggle switches found on airplanes. And another fun fact for you guys, well, the Mustang is not named after a horse, it's named after a World War II fighter plane. So now you know that. Now, the Mustang also has this traditional handbrake here if in case you want to do some sideways drifting action as well. And it's also equipped with a couple of back seats at the back, which is only, well, good enough for kids and people that you don't really like. I mean, imagine going down a mountain twisty at 120 kilometers per hour while you're seated at the back seat. It's not the most ideal place to be in. Now, speaking about driving this car at such insane speeds, well, Ford also knows that the Mustang is built for speed and hence it has a higher propensity of figuring in crashes. That's why Ford made the Mustang as safe as it could possibly make it. The Mustang has 7 airbags, plus the plethora of all the Ford active safety features that you could also find in the other models of the lineup. That would ensure that all the Mustang's passengers would remain safe just in case the Mustang's driver loses control of this fast stallion. Now, if you look at the cabin of the Mustang, it's got a lot of these nice retro touches to it, from the airplane toggle switches to the circular AC vents to this nice looking plaque that's found on the passenger dashboard that says 55 years to commemorate the Mustang's 55 straight years of production. In terms of cabin materials used, the cabin materials are also really nice. Everything is soft touch. You also get this nice brushed satin finish for your center dashboard that's made to look like brushed aluminum as well. In terms of build quality, the fit and finish is also superb. So overall, guys, the Mustang's cabin is a really nice place to stay in when you're doing a track day, carving mountain roads, or going on a long drive, or even when you're stuck in heavy Manila traffic. Just make sure that you are seated in the front seats and you'll be alright. The Ford Mustang GT Premium is one hell of a muscle car. This 6th generation refresh model brings the overall package closer to perfection at a price point that undercuts other muscle cars and premium exotics that offer similar performance figures. Priced at 3,538,000 Philippine pesos, this stallion will give you top-level performance at an accessible price point. No wonder it's so popular with performance junkies and speed addicts. Once again, thank you guys for watching one of my car reviews. If you like this review, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. I promise you guys I'll make it worth your while if you subscribe to my channel. I'm Reagan and I will see you again in another video. Bye-bye!